I'm going to send a message to people and we should be on the way.
Okay.
I'm going to send a message to people and we should be on the way. Okay. And now we're going to start this. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
You can see me?
No, we cannot see you, but we can see the slide.
Interesting. Hold on a second. Oh, now it's okay.
Looks like.
Good. We can start now, right? Okay, hold on a second.
Okay, now we can start.
Okay, right? Okay. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. We are doing the lecture 47 today. Sorry, we took almost 10 minutes to figure out what to do with the computer. So the next shloka is Yathedamsi samidhognihi bhasmasat kurute arjuna jnanagnihi sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. This is the 37th shloka, 4th chapter. The situation here is, in the last class, in the last verse, Lord Krishna said the jnana is a very powerful method, and jnana can help you burn up all the previous papas, sins. And it's a very powerful path. Here the same idea is continued, and there in the last shloka the analogy was like how it is like a boat. It can help you cross the ocean of samsara, but there were no details given, right, as to what if the boat comes back to the samsara and again you have to travel a long duration on the ocean of samsara. So we don't know whether there was a permanent cure there. Here this shloka goes to the next level and says there is a real value. Just like how fire burns all the sticks and fuel, oil and ghee and anything you pour to it. Similarly, whatever past karmas are there, all these karmas will be burnt by jnana, atma jnana. So this atma jnana is a very powerful pathway, sadhana, which can burn the past sins, past papas, which are causing so much of trouble for us in by giving us so much of obstacles, ignorance to us, so many layers of ajnana, avidya. All these are because of past sins. We are now unable to see ourselves, unable in the sense that our atma, unable to see Paramatma. So that we have a huge amount of ajnana, ignorance, and this ignorance has to be burnt. And this ignorance can be burnt by jnana, that is atma jnana. So this idea is explained in this verse. Just like how the fire burns all the fuel to ashes and makes it non-usable. Similarly, O Arjuna, the fire of knowledge, that is atma jnana, can turn all the past sins into ashes, and those sins will not bind you again. This shloka is explained by Ramanuja.org in this way. The Sanskrit is read as Samyak Pravruddho Agnihi. Samyak Pravruddho Agnihi means when the fire is burning and it's big and it's capable and mighty, in the sense that it's raging fire. Samyak Pravruddho Agnihi. Indhara Sanchayam Iva. How it can just burn off the fuel. If there is just a little bit of a flame, maybe the flame is not capable of burning all the sticks and other things like that. If there is a huge fire that can consume anything you put into it, in the sense that so much of fuel and anything which comes in the way, it just burn it, it'll burn. Similarly, the Atma Yathatma Jnana, that is the nature of knowledge of the self, that is a fire that can burn all the sins, karma sanchaya. It can burn the past karmas. Punya and papa rupa karmas. The karmas could be punya and papas also, right? Karma can be either way. If there is punya left out, then the person has to experience the punya, and then he has to have some kind of a sharira to explain the punya, that is, experience the punya. So even the punyas have to be burnt out. Only when both punyas and papas are reduced to ashes, then this person will not have any rebirth, and this person will attain the amartatva in a way, that is, non-return to the samsara, release from the samsara. So this anadikala pravritta, that means that from time immemorial, from time unknown beginning, with unknown beginning. Anadi means adihi yasya na jnayate. The beginning is unknown. Not that adihi yasya na vidyate, that means there is beginningless. Beginningless, there is a question about it. Many people think it's beginningless, but we'll talk about it. I prefer to take it as the karmas for which the beginning is unknown. Whenever we did this karmas, we don't know when we did it. That's a preferable way of understanding, and we'll explain to you why it is. Anadi, one second. Anadi kala pravritta ananta karma sanchayam bhasmi karoti. All the past karmas will be burnt by this Atma Jnana. So there is a doubt here, right? See, whatever karmas we do, how can that karmas can be burnt? Because there is a statement called Nabhuktam Kshiyate Karma Kalpakoti Shetairapi. Even after 100 crores of kalpas, crore is 100,000 is a lakh, 100 lakh is a crore. So hundreds of crores of kalpas. Kalpa is a huge amount of time, right? Kalpa is like, we say, what do you call, this is a kalpa is a lifetime of a Brahma, which is thousands and thousands of years. So many Chaturyugas. So the karma, whatever karma you do, we cannot be burnt. You have to experience the effects of the karmas. That's what people say. So how does this karma get burnt when this karma cannot be burnt? Because you have to experience the effects of the karmas. So the question is, by jnana, probably you can delay the effects of karmas, and then maybe you will not experience the problems now, but you may have to experience sometime in the future and get rid of those karmas. How can karma be destroyed is the question. This is interesting because even philosophers of different, previous Purva Mimamsakas and also Jains accept that karmas cannot be got rid of without experiencing the fruits. That means you have to experience what you have done long time back. There is no escape out of it. So both these philosophers, Jain philosophers and Purva Mimamsaka philosophers, believe that seriously. So this is a hard issue. This shloka says, The previous shloka said that the knower of Atman would cross the ocean of karmas. But here, it is very clear that all the karmas will be burnt by Atma Jnana. There can be no coming back. This is an amazing verse. Lord Krishna gives a lot of peace of mind, saying that Atma Jnana is important. So the Atma, because of the fire of Atma Jnana, everything is burnt. Those karmas are burnt, and the karmas cannot give rise to anything. Like how seeds which are burnt cannot become a tree, even if you put water and fertilizers and everything like that, and take care of it. The seeds will not sprout into any kind of plant or tree. So the karmas are rendered ineffective, completely burnt off. The next verse is Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram miha vidyate tatsvayam yoga samsiddha kalena atmani vindati. If you have any doubts, you can stop me too. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram miha vidyate tatsvayam yoga samsiddha kalena atmani vindati. We'll take this verse first and then come to the next verse. Iha means in this world, jnanena sadrisham pavitram nahi vidyate. That means there is nothing as auspicious and pure as jnana. So what does this jnana do? It purifies. How does it purify? It purifies by taking away all the bad things. That is dosha apanayana. Guna adhana. It gives you positive features, positive powers, shakti, guna. Tat yoga samsiddha kalena atmani swayam vindati. It will come automatically to you once you are a yoga samsiddha. How do you become a yoga samsiddha? By performing karma yoga without any desire for the fruits, offering the effects of karmas to God, and as a worship towards God, and without thinking that you are the doer. If you do Shastra Vihita karmas in that way, that will be Karma Yoga. And if you do Karma Yoga, the Jnana is inbuilt within the Karma Yoga, and that Jnana will take away all the sins and Ajnana, and it gives you the power of Atma Jnana, which obviously is useful for you. So the ultimate benefit of Karma Yoga is the inbuilt Atma Jnana in it. And that you don't have to worry, you don't have to ask for Atma Jnana, because once you are performing the Karma Yoga, automatically the Jnana will occur in you. And once it is right time, when the time is right, all the obstructions and Purva Karmas are fully destroyed. Yasmad Atmajnanena sadrisham pavitram shuddhikaram iha jagati vasvantaram na vidyate. This is Ramanuja Bhashya. There is no object, there is no entity which is as pure, as purifying as this Atmajnana. So this jnanam, how do you get this jnana? Yathopadesham aharaha anuštiyamana. That means as told by your acharyas, your gurus, you do this karma yoga properly, and then you become a siddha, and then eventually Atmajnana comes to you. So this karma yoga should be done every single day. There is no holiday, right? You cannot take weekends. I don't need to do karma yoga. It doesn't work that way. Karma yoga has to be done every day. And that person would get Atmajnana. Here, there's a small clarification. Yasmad Atmajnanena sadacham pavitram shuddhikaram iha jagati vatsvantaram na vidyate. What does this vatsvantaram mean? There is no entity or any action or something which is as purifying as this Atmajnana. So visiting a Punya Kshetra, going to a temple, going to any kind of this Divya Deshams and things like that, visiting a Tirupati or Srirangam or any great Divya Desham, that is less capable of, those activities are less capable of burning the sins as compared to this Atmajnana. Lord Krishna's words are very powerful. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram vidyate. That means there is nothing auspicious, nothing purifying compared to Atmajnana. But there's a small issue. The small issue is Kshetrajnasya Ishvara Jnanat Vishuddhihi. This is some smriti. I have to check that what that ya means. Ya means what kind of smriti. I have to look into that book. I forgot to check that actually. So this says that knowing Parabrahman, the Antaryami, the Lord, that is the most purifying thing for anyone. Vishuddhihi, that is purification occurs only when you know the Lord. But next to this, most purifying is knowing yourself, that is knowing your Atmajnana. So in this world, there is nothing as pure as Atmajnana. So even going to Kshetra or any other, maybe doing puja or any other japa, tapa, you have to somehow get this Atmajnana. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter, because Karma Yoga may involve different kinds of activities. We know Karma Yoga has different kinds of Karma Yogas out there. Dravya Yajna, Swadhyaya, Jnana Yajna, controlling the breath. So many different types of Karma Yoga are there. And using any of those Karma Yogas, you can get Atmajnana. And that Atmajnana is the most purifying thing in this entire universe. So other than Brahmajnana, Jivatmajnana is the most purifying. So the ultimately most purifying is Brahmajnana. Next to it, it is Jivatmajnana. So when does this jnana come to you? Means when the fruition occurs. So when the fruition occurs means you keep on doing this Karma Yoga as told by Acharya. Aharaha means every day. After some time, when the time is ripe, jnana, you will get jnana. Kashaye karmabhih pakve tato jnanam. There is a verse. Kashaye karmabhih pakve tato jnanam pravartate. That means once the old karmas are cooked and annihilated, jnana comes. Tat swayam means it comes by itself. There is no need for any other person to give you upadesha, teaching. You don't have to go through coursework or learning anything like that. Just by doing karma yoga, Atmajnana will come. Tadeva vispashtamaha. This is made clearer in the next shloka. Shraddhavan labate jnanam tatpara samyatendriya. Jnanam labdva param shantim achirena adhigachyati. Shraddhavan means one who has real interest, urgency to acquire knowledge. Tatparaha, he becomes focused on that, who is deeply interested in that only. He doesn't get diverted. His attention does not get diverted. Samyatendriyaha, he has his senses completely under control. So nothing can bother him. You know what happened to that Ajamila, right? Ajamila was a Vedavit. He knew the Vedas. He was a sincere student of the Vedas. He had learned the Vedas. He was a nice person. But one day, when he was young, he went to the forest to pick up the darba grasses. When he wanted to pick up darba grass for some kind of Agnihotra or some kind of Yajna Yaga or something like that, he saw somebody in a very compromising situation. some kind of, and that sight of somebody in deep love or something, this person could not take it. One sight of it, that's it. He came home and he could not focus on his, Nitya Agnihotra or Nitya Karmas or anything like that. This person started thinking about the same things, and so he could be doing that. He immediately left all his Vaidika Karmas and all his studies and all the tapas, japa, which he had done for so many years, went away, burnt by the fire of desire. So it's not easy to control the senses. But what the Lord says here is Shraddhavan Labate Jnanam. The person who has real interest, who says, I'm going to say no to my sensual needs. Whatever is basic necessity to keep my body intact, only that I will be involved in. Tatparaha Samyate Indriyaha, who has complete control over his senses. Jnanam Labate, he gets Atma Jnana. And this kind of knowledge which comes on fruition of his Karma Yoga. Having obtained this Jnana, Achirena Param Shantim Ajigachyati. Very quickly, without delay, he will attain Param Shantim. This Shantim is not just peace, it is Brahma Nirvana. Nirvana is a state where he can see his self, he has the vision of his self, and he experiences his self to a certain extent. Brahma Nirvana is explained deeply in the second chapter. That's why I'm just saying he attains that state. Evam Upadesha Jnanam Labda. So how does he get to this state? He acquires the knowledge from the teachings of his teachers, preceptors, gurus, and being sincerely interested in such a knowledge, he focuses his mind on attaining Atma Jnana further and making it more powerful. He controls his senses and stays away from anything which takes his mind away. And if he continues to do that, without delay, he attains utmost joy, which is nirvana, param nirvana. Evam upadesha jnanam. This is explained further here. In the next shloka, ajñascha ashraddhadanascha samshayatma vinashyati, it is said. That is, a person who does not have knowledge and who does not have interest, shraddha, he might have doubts and he will get destroyed. He is not going to get any value. In this shloka, what we need to understand is jnaha. Jnaha means he knows. Shraddhavan, he has sincere interest. And for such a person, the jnana arises. What does Shraddha means? He's seriously interested. What does interest mean? Interest means that he has got the urgency. He feels the urgency that, why am I not getting it? I need to get Atma Jnana. He does not wait. He takes actions. So Tvara means, the indication of real interest is Tvara. Tvara means action. He takes immediate action. The feeling of urgency. Tatparaha, tatra eva niyata manaha. Tatparaha means focusing there properly. Taditara vishayat samyatendriya. That means you should watch out for other sensual objects and activities that can take you away, that can divert your attention from Atma Jnana. This is a major problem, and that this person has overcome that. So if he overcomes that, Ukta Lakshana Vipaka Dashapannam, slowly he comes to a mature state, and in the mature state, the inner jnanam of Atma Jnanam, he attains. Tatsvayam yoga samsiddha kalena atmani vindati. In the first portion, they say achirena. Achirena means quickly. Here it says kalena atmani vindati. Kalena means eventually. So what is this apparent controversy here, apparent conflict? Basically, what it says, chirena means it may not, achirena jigatiti means it may not take 1 or 2 days, one day or 2 days or 3 days. It may take several days or maybe a few years. When it comes to kalena, eventually he will get it. What does it mean? He will get it right in this lifetime. He doesn't have to even get to the next lifetime. He will get the jnana, atma jnana right here while he is living. That is the meaning here. So it can't be just a couple of days. It will be a lifetime or within this lifetime. So long periods of continuous practice, lifelong practice is needed in Karma Yoga, or maybe 10, 20 years for the right kind of people. Here comes a small question here. You know, people don't believe in subtle things, right? And generally, we are so used to life, you want to get a small things, we want to get our livelihood. We have to spend all our life to make sure that we have a good job, we have enough money and things like that. In such a world here, how can we believe that all this entire universe of sentient beings and insentient beings, everything we see, the stars, the moon, the whole universe was created by the Lord? It's tough to believe it, right? So, however, the Upanishad, Chandogya says, Chaddat Swasomya. The teachers, Uddhadaka, teaches the students, Shvetaketu, says, look, from the most subtle seed, which is a very small seed, a great Nyagrodha tree. Nyagrodha tree is like an oak tree, a huge tree, grows from a very small seed. Ashwatha, probably it's Ashwatha, I'm not sure. Right? Similarly, by that subtle Lord, from that subtle Lord, this entire universe comes. For now, it may be difficult for you to agree with us, but the Guru says, Shraddhatsva, trust. Just trust and take it further. So in the olden times, they say, this is what the Vedas say. They just believed in it and they spent their life trusting the Vedas. This trust is required. You know, this is required for pretty much everything. You study very well. It may take 5 years to get a graduation. At the end of the day, you will get a job and you will be on your own. This trust should be there, right? And you have to fight. You cannot give up after going 1 year and say, oh my God, it's just not going to work for me. So many homework I have to do, so much studies I have to do. I'm not going to do this. You cannot give up. Similarly, you have to have trust in the Vedas, which are most dear to everyone. Acharya's upadeshas also are very important. Whenever it comes to subtle things like Paramatma and Atma, you have to trust Acharya's upadesha. Only such a person who trusts and continues his life will realize the self. Here, Shankaracharya expresses Shraddha, Tatparata, and Samyatendriyatva as Antaranga Upayas. Antaranga Upayas is inner paths, inner methods, inner sadhana. The external sadhana is pranipata, pariprashna, and seva. Pranipata is falling at the feet of the Acharya. Pariprashna, waiting for the right time to ask questions and asking questions, and serving the master, serving the Acharya with whatever the Acharya requests. So both inner methodology and outer methodology, inner activities and outer activities are necessary. That's what Shankaracharya says. And just prostrating in front of the Acharya without any belief is a fake, right? just because somebody said, oh, just fall at the feet of Acharya. Okay, I don't really believe it, but if I don't do it, people will think wrong things about me. I'm just going to fall at the feet of Acharya. That's not going to help. So asking questions should be with the right mindset, not to, I'm going to check this guy out. Whether this Acharya really knows or not, I need to really find out and ask some crazy question. So that is not the right method. Sincerity in Atmajnana, sincerity in saying that I only want to find this Atman. So your question should be directed with that sincerity. Should have faith in the words of Acharya. So this is how Atmajnana develops. Ramanuja.org says, Shraddha leads to a sense of urgency. If somebody truly has Shraddha, he will have urgency, he or she. And then the focus comes. And the Indriya Damana, that is the control of the senses, will come. And then the person will get Atmajnana. Both Acharyas have very complementary way of looking at it, very original and very useful. Here, the Shanti is not just control of the mind. Shanti is a goal here. That's what we need to understand. If you think about the Prashnopanishad, we see that the students came to Pipalada Maharshi, and Pipalada Maharshi says, Tan Rishiro Huacha Bhuya Eva Tapasa Brahmacharyena Shraddhaya. He says, with celibacy and Shraddha, with real true interest, live with me for 1 year and show your interest. Afterwards, you can ask any question you want, and then I will answer them if I know. So you see that Shraddha was given a lot of importance. The next shloka is Ajnascha Shraddhadanascha Samshayatma Vinashyati Nayam Lokostena Paro Na Sukham Samshayatmanaha. If a person does not have knowledge, even entry-level knowledge, and Ashraddhadanascha, he does not have any real faith and interest, and also he is Samshayatma. Samshayatma means he has a lot of doubts. He will get destroyed. His life will be a wasted life. So, Vinashyati. Because he will start, first of all, he will have doubts about the teachings. That's why he is Samshayatma. That means he has doubts. Such a doubtful person who doesn't have knowledge or dedication, he cannot even achieve this life. That means he cannot achieve dharma, artha, kama. That means the whatever we say as important, that is having wealth, doing dharma here, that means like charity and other things like that, taking care of things here. And kama is to take care of our desire, saying that if you want something, get whatever you want. That kind of anything here, he cannot achieve anything without knowledge and without interest, and that person should not have any doubts. He has to have the strength of mind to go and take it towards fruition. Hence, that person will have no sukham, no happiness. Ayam loko nasti, that means he doesn't have even this world. What to talk about the next world? He will not get anything in the next world either. Ajna means who does not have knowledge, acquired from a guru. So knowledge is not, one person told me a long time back, have you studied Sri Bhashya? Of course I have studied Sri Bhashya. Where did you learn? It's on the internet, he said. So no, you have to study from a guru, right? So you should have the right mindset. We already went through it. I'm not going to repeat it. here there is a statement which we need to understand it properly. Purushartha means dharma, artha, kama, moksha, right? Here, any gains, that is any kind of gains, whatever you want is prescribed in the Shastras. And a person has to have trust and go further, right? Trust in the sense of trust in the self. There is trust in this, trust that this Jivatma is different from the body. And they should not have any doubts about it. Here a question comes up. One person asks, look, I know a doctor who is a very successful doctor. He's an atheist. He doesn't believe in God. But he's very successful and he's very powerful, like very well read. He's famous. How come he is successful? He has achieved what he wants to do here in this life, but he is an atheist. He doesn't believe in Shastras or the Jivatma or God or anything like that. How can you explain this? That means you say, Shastras, what you call belief in self is necessary, right? That's what the Shastras say. This, we have to think about this question carefully. What it means is, any successful person knows that he has a basic self-confidence, right? He has basic self-confidence, he is hardworking, he has a purpose, he doesn't have doubts, he will work for it very hard to get to the purpose, he doesn't get diverted by usual diversions, sensual diversions or any kind of diversions. His purpose is very clear. This itself shows that he is not matter. He has a personality. He has trust and self-confidence. When he says self-confidence, obviously he has trust in a self. Indirectly, whether he believes in a Shastra or not, he has belief in a conscious entity, which is himself. So we need to understand it. When people ask questions, you have to think properly how to answer and how to understand the question and how to deal with it. Hope this was useful. Nayam lokosti ayajñasya. In the same chapter earlier, it was said, Nayam lokosti ayajñasya. If you don't do self-service to others, if you don't know how to live in a society where you help each other, you will not achieve anything here, because people will know, oh, this guy is a very selfish person. He will not help anybody. They will not even give him any business, and that person will lose business. So being in a community and helping the community and all these things show an advancement in understanding that this person is just not matter. He's just not after wealth, wealth, wealth. He is after sharing also. That means there is some humanity in this person that shows that the person has got some belief in himself. Atvaramanaha, here is a nice point Acharyas bring here. First of all, if you're not interested, you're not going to be, you will not have a sense of urgency. If you don't have a sense of urgency, how do you achieve life, achieve Atmajnana? Kenopanishad says very well here, Ihached avedit atha satyamasti, nachediha avedit mahati vinashtihi. If this body is very frail, you can lose the body very easily. The body may go away. Some kind of diseases or any kind of problems in life can take your attention away. If you know the self, if you know Atmajnana right here, that will be a great achievement. Otherwise, it will be Mahati Vinashtihi, which is a great disaster which can happen without Atmajnana. So urgency in knowing the self is very important. So Samshaya Atma is something which we need to understand. The mind is very real crazy thing, right? It can give you so many doubts. Why am I studying this Atmajnana, which Atma is never seen properly? It may take almost years to see this Atman. Why don't we just get out of this mess? Just take care of ordinary things. Just take a cool walk or enjoy a movie or something else. Why these kind of doubts about why this, why should I know, and what is it really real? Does it exist? I don't see it, nobody sees it. Many people who are atheists and who doesn't believe in a soul are having a very good time in life. Why should I even bother? These kind of doubts can come constantly. And to win over it, it's not easy. And the faith in Shastras is not easy. In fact, Shankaracharya says, Samshayatma tu papishta sarvesham. If a person has doubts, he is a really, really unworthy person. He is the most sinful person. He is a papishta, sarvesham. Here, he says a person who doubts everything will not get any benefit here or in other worlds. So even for a person who does yajna and says he wants to reach Swarga, obviously he has to have a sincere belief that he is different from this body. There is a spiritual entity, he is a spiritual entity, because the spiritual entity has to go to a next life, get a different body and experience Swargaloka, right? So his belief in the self and his trust and knowledge of the self has to be there. So Atmajnana is very necessary for a person who even does yajna yagadis for just attaining Swarga. In fact, Rigveda has a warning. There is a mantra called Yasma Prichanti Kuhaseti. This mantra is a little complex. Ghora Mute Mahur Naisho Astityenam So Aryaha Pushti Vija Ivaminati Shraddhasma Idhattasa Janasa Indraha. The Sanskrit of Rigveda is quite difficult. It's hard to understand. But the meaning here is, these people ask, oh, where is he? That Paramatman who is dreadful to his enemies. He will take care of everything kind of a person, right? Where is he? And they answer, oh, he is not there. He doesn't exist. And if that person thinks like that, the Lord gets angry and will destroy all the wealth of such non-virtuous people. So have faith in him. Believe that he exists. Oh people, he is none other than Indra Paramatman. Here, Indra means not just the Indra in the Swarga. Indra means Parabrahman himself. So what does this Indra, the Rigveda mantra says? Don't question the existence of God or self. He verily exists. If you lose this faith in this, your wealth will be taken away one day or today or some other day or some time, because God will get angry. It looks awkward, but this is just a warning for people saying that, look, maybe some people don't just believe in just straight words. They need a powerful warning, I guess. So, Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam, Jnana Sanchinna Samshayam, Atmavantam Nakarmani Nibaddhanti Dhananjaya. This is the verse 41. Dhananjaya is Arjuna here. Lord Krishna addresses Arjuna. Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam, one who has renounced the idea of doership, who is doing Karma Yoga properly. And while doing Karma Yoga, he is also practicing the contemplation of Atmajnana, a contemplation of self. Jnana Sanchinna Samshayam, who has got rid of all the doubts through Atmajnana, by acquiring Atmajnana. Karmani nani bhadnanti Atmavantam. Atmavantam means he is Manasvinam. He has a firm faith of who he is. He is Atma. He is not just the body. Atmavantam, nakarmani nibadhanti. The karmas will not bind such a person. And even though the karmas could be from what is stored and what is acquired in innumerable number of millions of births that Atma Jnana is enough to destroy all these karmas. And the karmas will not bind him at all. So whatever is causing this bondage with the body, bondage with life, bondage with everything around us, we being put in this ocean of samsara, all those which create this bondage, all the reasons, all the connected issues, everything will get burnt away by Atma Jnana. Karmas performed with a desire for the fruits will put somebody into samsara. That will bind him into samsara. The same karmas done without any interest in the fruits will liberate him. Right? The main teachings of the are summarized here. So let's go through the summary here for a few minutes. Yathopadishta yogena sanyasta karmanam jnanakaratapanna karmanam. So by doing his actions according to how he has studied from the acharyas, the karmas themselves have taken a form of jnana. The yoga here means buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga means karmanya, karmaya paschet. While doing actions, he sees the atma in it. He sees the self in every action. Akarma means atma jnana anusandhana. That is practicing the knowledge of self while doing karma yoga. The meaning of yoga sannyasta karmanam here is understood as not the renunciation of the actions themselves. He is not giving up the karma. It is not swarupa tyaga. It is actually the phala tyaga. That means giving the fruits of the karmas. And understanding that these actions are the form of knowledge. So he's giving up kartritva, the agency, the mamata, for his own sake he is doing. And he is the doer. He doesn't have that sense of sense that he is the doer. And he is not interested in the fruits of actions. It is not karma sannyasa. It is not giving up actions. We have to understand this Atma Jnana is acquired only through Guru Upadesha. If a guru does not teach, just textbooks are not going to help much. A person has, that too an Atma Jnani has to teach, not a person who doesn't have Atma Jnana. So please don't come to me for that Jnana. Upanishads say, Acharya Dhaiva.
Can I ask a question, please?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you say that we should not have any desire, and you do a karma, then you won't realize it. But wanting to realize our Atma, isn't that a desire itself?
Yeah, it is. What's your name? I didn't get your name.
Rama.
Rama, okay. So the thing is, definitely wanting to know Atma Jnana is a desire, but desire, Atma Kama is not considered as bad. Desire for self, desire for Paramatma is not considered as binding because that is a part of yourself. You are a piece of that Brahman. You are Amsha of the Lord. Mama Ivamsho Jivaloke Jivo Bhuta Sanatana. This Amsha will always yearn to join the original self. So your attachment to God, attachment to yourself is always there. So that is not considered as karma.
Thank you.
So we have to remember Guru Upadesha is important. Acharya Dhaiva Vidya Vidita Sadishtam Prapat. Knowledge attained only through an Acharya will give fruition. Acharyavan Purusho Veda. If you get the right Acharya, that means that you will understand God. Only with a good Acharya, a person can know God, can know Parabrahman. So this is the 42nd verse. Tasmad ajnana sambhutam hristam jnanasinatmanah chitvainam samshayam yogam atishtottishta bharata. Lord Krishna says, hence, having said all these things in the 4th chapter, ajnana sambhutam, whatever is ignorance, ajnana, which is right in your mind, the doubts in your mind, cut off these doubts in your mind using the sword of jnana. Atmanah jnanasina chitva. And clear all your doubts. Yoga matishta uttishta bharata. Perform karma yoga. Get up. Start your karma yoga. That's what Lord Krishna is saying. I think this is the final verse of the 4th chapter. So this ignorance is a beginningless in the sense that anadi, it existed forever in a way. And jnana can burn all that ignorance. Maya upadishtam karma yogam. Lord Krishna says, I have told you the karma yoga till now. Remember that. Maya also indicates he is the Lord, he is the Lord of everybody, he is Sarvajna, and he is most merciful. And follow the guidance of that Lord Krishna. That's what it means here, based on our Acharya's Bhashya. Prasangat Swaswabhavokti. This is Yamunacharya who did Gita Artha Sangraha. So he has given a wonderful set of like 30 shlokas or something which summarizes Bhagavad Gita. We have not taken deep interest in those verses, but we will here and there mention them. Yamunacharya, the guru of Ramanuja.org says, Prasangat swaswabhavokti karmano akarmatasya cha bheda jnanasya mahatmyam chaturtha dhyaye uchyate. What it is said here is, Lord Krishna explained his avatara rahasya in the initial first few shlokas, up to 14th shloka. He talked about how he taught this to Vivaswan long time back, and Arjuna had a doubt that how could Krishna, who is like co-evil colleague kind of a person who was with Arjuna, also could have taught Vivaswan so many thousands of years back. So that's when Lord Krishna explained the Avatara Rahasya, that his greatness of his birth. And he also mentioned that if somebody knows his Avatara Rahasya, then immediately within this life he will attain moksha. When you ask some people, oh, do you know about Krishna Avatara? Of course I know about Krishna Avatara. We just had Sri Jayanti recently. Gokulashtami was a couple of days back. Some people perform it next month, but we know it. If you know Avatara Rahasya, that means that you should get moksha right away, almost. That means what? Avatara Rahasya is a hidden secret. It is a Rahasya. It's very difficult to understand. After explaining his Avatara Rahasya, Lord Krishna has explained about the nature of Karma Yoga and how Atma Jnana is inbuilt within the Karma Yoga. All these things.
What did you put so much makeup?
Please mute your.
Are you finished?
No.
Somebody has not muted.
So you're finished?
Hold on.
You have to pull it off or twist it.
Twist it. இதுதான் பாட்டில்ல இருக்கிற லிங்க் அப்படியே வெளில வந்துரும்.
Oh, sorry. Here, done.
என்னாச்சு கட்டான மாதிரி அவர் அமைதியா இருக்காரு.
I don't know how to mute. Okay. Okay. Swarupataha, Prakarataha, Dravyataha, Karanataha, Kalataha, Prayojanatashcha Divyatvam. Lord Krishna, our Acharya says, Gita, Lord Krishna is different from the Jivas in every aspect. And such a Paramatma is teaching this 4th chapter, that is this Bhagavad Gita. It's not moving. After 15 shlokas, in the 4th chapter, Karmano Hyapi Bodhavyam, Karmanya Karma Pashet, all these things, till Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi, Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhana, till the shloka, all the shlokas explain the integral aspect of jnana in Karma Yoga. Then the different types of Karma Yogas were explained. Daivameva Pare Yajnam, different kind of Bahuda, different kinds of Karma Yoga there. Dravya Yajna, Swadhyaya Jnana Yajna, all those things were said. Shreyan Dravyamaya Yajna, Jnana Yajna Parantapa, the Jnana portion of Karma is the most powerful, most superior, was said eventually. Finally, Krishna says, perform Karma Yoga as taught, without any doubts, no matter what, just go for it and don't have any doubts. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad-Gita Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yogo Nama Chaturthodhyayaha. This is the 4th chapter. We have completed Ramanuja.org on 4th chapter. If you have any doubts, please let me know. If it's too late today, you can ask doubts eventually, or send questions on Telegram channel or email. Any live questions? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Krishna ji, namaskaram. This is Radha. A quick question. Yeah. We have talked about how to find Guru. This is another part of it is to find the Guru who is realized. How do we identify that person who is realized, in the sense who has had the Atma Jnana, who can guide us to attain that path or that realization?
So did we answer this question earlier? I thought we answered it recently, right? In the Telegram channel or something like that. Did we?
No, we did answer about finding the Guru, but finding the Guru, the right Guru, that Atman, who is self-realized. Like there are many gurus, right? So we have to find. We may also have, like we said, Ramanuja.org had 5 gurus. So we may also have multiple of them.
Definitely.
Before we find the final one. And so how, so some of us could, like it's going to be a normal human being who is going to be self-realized. How do we find that person to show us the path, right? Like a blind man cannot lead another blind man, like that. I'm
Very
just
good
thinking.
question. Very good question. But the thing is, we can do some of the work right here, right? We have, so that is where Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavastito. 17th chapter says you have to trust the Shastra. You have to learn the Shastras and understand what is the nature of Atma Jnani. We Sthita Prajnasya Ka Bhasha.
Right, Sthita Prajna. Yeah.
We studied the Sthita Prajna in the 2nd chapter, right? How will a Sthita Prajna behave?
Yeah, yeah.
If you can analyze all the details of, oh, does this person look like a Sthita Prajna? Does this person act at least close? Is he close enough towards being a Sthita Prajna? Does this person have got other interests other than Atma Jnana? Does he waste his life away in other things other than Atma Jnana? Can he lead? See, there's a fine balance. Even a Atma Jnani, for example, in the Srimad Mahabharata, one of the Atma Jnanis is a butcher. Dharma Vyadha. Vyadha is a butcher. And that butcher explains to the Kaushika Rishi or somebody what Atma Jnana is, right? So it'll be very, so you get a lot of details from our Shastras as to how an Atma Jnani behaves in life, how he or she deals with life. That's, you have to go through the process of understanding the Shastras, evaluating people, and also get guidance from other gurus who may not be Atmajnanis, but may be able to find you an Atmajnani, right? This is a ghost. See, this is not like, this is complex, right? It is not like material achievement. You can say, oh, where do you find this particular computer you bought? Oh, no, it's not available anywhere. I ordered it right from the manufacturer in Japan or somewhere. You say something like that. This is not like that, right? So this is a hard thing, tough to answer. I hope I have answered something at least.
Yes, I was thinking also of the Siddha Prajna, so thank you.
I didn't hear you.
No, I was also thinking of the Siddha Prajna and the characteristics of the second chapter.
Correct.
So yeah, thank you so much. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you.
Any other question? Very good then. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Thank you.